We will cut your taxes, we will protect your pension, and we will defend this nation.
Please clap.
For a more secure future, vote Conservative.
The UK general election is over. After a decade and a half of Conservative Party rule, Keir Starmer's Labour Party have won a majority of 291 seats in Parliament and will be forming the next government, with the Tories being reduced to 131 seats and Lib Dem making a revival, despite Ed Davey basically just prattling around in a series of stunts and saying very little other than Tories bad. Penny Mordaunt was one of the big-name Tories to lose a seat, along with former Prime Minister Liz Truss and the haunted pencil himself, Jacob Rees-Mogg. All in all, they shipped 251 seats, and good riddance to every single one of them. Rishi Sunak's announced that he'll be stepping down as party leader.
I am sorry.
No doubt in order to get on the next private jet to California and enjoy some of the billions of pounds that his family have gained from the policies he set up. Anyone who thinks that someone as rich as he is wants a 100k per year job to serve the public interest instead of himself should seek psychiatric assistance immediately. While Starmer's promised to bring change in his campaign clarion call, all the evidence so far points to a perpetuation in austerity-based policies as we look set to wallow in more neoliberal, Thatcherite misery for the next 5 years. You're watching My Left Eye, and in this video I'll be having a quick look at the bad, the good and the ugly side of the 2024 election that was announced as a Tory got pissed on in the rain and ended up with the same thing happening at the ballot. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help the channel reach a wider audience. The bad. Right, let's get the obvious negatives out of the way first. Yes, the Tories were awful and everyone's glad to see the back of them. They lost tons of seats, but while I was hoping more of those seats would go to socialist grassroots parties, independents and the Greens, it's resulted in a landslide victory for Labour. 5 years ago this would have been amazing, but Starmer's shoved the party firmly to the right, and whether it's ideology, syntax or a failure to deliver on policies, I'm expecting more of the same, as well as the same excuses as they make so-called tough decisions. For example, they've only been in power for a few days and Starmer's already saying that he'll be holding back on recognising a Palestinian state. Expect more of this to come over the next 250 weeks or so, along with a lack of public investment, pandering to the rich, the NHS being sold off, wages stagnating further, and so on and so on. The SNP have also been dealt a massive blow in Scotland, losing 39 seats, leaving them with just 9, and Labour picking up most of their losses. This is a very detrimental blow to the effort to gain Scottish independence, something which I'm a firm supporter of. Unfortunately, we're also going to be subjected to more far-right bilge from Nigel Farage in the mainstream media. While the exit poll predicted Reform would get 13 seats, they landed 5, with the final seat being declared very late on Friday, having come so close that recounts were required. They did actually, worryingly, garner more votes than Lib Dem, who boosted their seat number to 72. This means that Farage has a seat in Parliament for the first time in 8 attempts. They're good. It's not all bad news from a socialist perspective though. Jeremy Corbyn gained his Islington North seat as an independent since being barred from standing by the Labour Party. This is mud in the eye to Starmer, and also Wes Streeton, who made this prediction back in May.
Frankly, what Jeremy Corbyn does is no concern to me whatsoever any longer. He won't be a Labour candidate at the next general election. He won't be in Parliament after the next general election.
This was, without a doubt, my favourite result of the general election, to be honest. Also, Liam Mohammed ran a very good independent campaign against Wesley in Ilford North, and he's very much been put on notice, having scraped through by just 500 votes. The Evening Standard decided to omit her name from the results for some reason though. The Green Party won 4 seats, which is double what the exit poll predicted, and just one short of my prediction. They took a whopping 4 million of the votes cast. Carla Denyer and co-leader Adrian Ramsey won their seats in Bristol Central and Waveney Valley respectively, and there were 2 more victories in Brighton and North Hereford. However, what's also very encouraging is that the Greens came second in a whopping 40 seats, and if they make a lot of gains in these in 2029, then it would paint a very different political picture in the UK. Socialist independent candidates also won 6 seats, with many of them standing on a pro-Palestine ticket. They also, like the Greens, fell just short of a win in several other seats. Perhaps after 5 years of Starmer, the public will be truly done with the main 3 parties and make a serious shift to the Greens and other socialist candidates. Let's wait and see. While the Workers' Party Britain didn't win any seats, George Galloway, who held their only one, losing out to Labour in Rochdale, they did come very close to a huge scalp in Birmingham Yardley, which has put front stabber Jess Phillips on notice too. John Ashworth, who's another Labour MP who was involved in the coup against Corbyn, lost his seat in Leicester South. He said some things that were very detrimental about the local Bengali community, and voters responded to that by backing independent candidate Shaukat Adam, who won with a majority of 1,000. Also, reasons to be cheerful if you live in Wales. The Tories lost every seat that they have, so well done there. So it's not all been bad news, even though smaller parties and independents have been fighting against a very unjust political voting system. And that leads me on to the ugly. First past the post is a huge pile of shit. Labour have a 291 seat majority despite only getting 34% of the vote share. Yet again, a party has come into power despite most people not voting for them. Something has got to be done about this, and while many FBPEs were certain that Keith would be looking to bring in PR as well as rejoin the EU, they'll predictably be disappointed on both fronts. We're stuck in a voting system that's well past its time if we're going to have real democracy. Labour got 3 million votes fewer than in 2017, but have a huge majority instead of a hung parliament as they did 7 years ago. To his credit, even though first past the post benefited Lib Dem, who increased their share of seats by 7 times, the leader Ed Davey has still said that PR would be fairer. If people actually felt the votes counted, then you'd see more support for smaller parties. People often argue that PR would allow the right wing in, but we've got first past the post, and we've had nothing but decades of right-wing government, and now Reform have got 5 seats, so that's that argument more or less in the bin. It's also led to a lot of people staying at home instead of actually bothering to go out and vote, which has led to a very low turnout of just 57%. It's clear for all to see that people are sick of the political system as it stands. So that's it. We're in for 5 years of Keith and his cohorts. I'll be keeping a close eye on them during the tenure and bringing you more content. Please let me know what you think about the election results and first past the post in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My left eye, be seeing you soon.